What's up, guys? Dustin Heiner here with Master Passive Income, and I want to talk to you about earnest money. And in real estate, what is earnest money, how to actually pay it, who gets it, and all that great stuff. Now, I get this question all the time from my real estate coaching students. See, I have the Real Estate Wealth Builders membership, where I literally coach people how to actually invest in rental properties and real estate. And this question comes up all the time. But let me go ahead and answer it so that you can understand what earnest money is. Now, the first off, earnest money is basically you putting down a deposit on a house. Let's say you go to a house as seller and say, I would like to buy your house. Here is an offer. Well, the seller looks at your offer and says, okay, that's great, but I need you to put some money down to make sure that you have skin in the game or that you're going to make sure that you're going to go through with it. And if you don't go through with it, I get that earnest money. It's basically, like I said, a deposit. If you do not follow through, the seller gets that deposit or gets that earnest money. There's a lot to go over, like if it's required, how much is required, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll get into that. And also, I want to show you how to quit your JOB, that just over broke job, by investing in real estate rental properties so you never, ever have to work a job again. And in the description, I actually have a free course I'm going to give you. Go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Well, I will show you how to invest in rental properties, buy right properties, find properties, fund or get money for the properties, make it an automatic business, and quit your job. So make sure you get that free course, that free real estate investing course, right away. Now, I know I talked about this just a little bit, but what is earnest money? Well, it's really just a monetary way to hold your place in purchasing anything, like a property. Earnest money could be for anything, but we're talking about real estate specifically right now. So if you're going to buy a house, usually what they're going to say is, we need you to put down a deposit. Well, if you put down $1,000 deposit or earnest money, that gets held by a third party. That third party is called the title company. That third party is going to hold onto that money. And if you do not go through with purchasing the property, now I know there's stipulations and different things like inspection reports, which we can absolutely get out and get our money back, which I'll get into in just a second. Watch a little bit later in the video. I'll show you how to get out of, having your earnest money taken from you. But if you do not follow through with anything and you do not get the purchase and purchase the property, they get that. The seller gets that deposit. It's basically good faith. You saying, I will go through with purchasing the property. And if I don't, you get this money to make sure that you are well compensated for the time. Because I know you want to sell it, but if you don't sell it in these 30 days, to me, you have to be paid for your time. So that's what earnest money actually is. Now, how much is the earnest money, or how much should it be? And at the same time, is it required? Well, let me answer the second question. Number one, earnest money is absolutely not required. I bought 30 plus homes, and I would say about half of them I put earnest money down. Some of them are as little as like $500 down, which is totally fine. But is it required? No, absolutely not. It's only required if the seller says, I will only accept offers, and you have to put an earnest money down. And the earnest money is not absolutely required. It'll only depend on the seller. Now, how much would you actually spend in earnest money or have to put down? Now, this also varies, and honestly, it varies on area of the country, like different cities and different states. They, I guess, have a somewhat, quote unquote, not a rule or a law, but like a general standard for how much they actually put down. But a good rule of thumb would be maybe 1%. Up to $1,000. Now, if you are buying a house for $100,000, you put 1% down, that would be $1,000. But if you're buying a $50,000 house, 1% would be $500. They might want you to spend a little more. But here's what the interesting thing is. And I tell you this is a huge pro tip I'm going to give you. I give all my real estate investing students. This is negotiable. In fact, everything in real estate, if you're buying a house for yourself, everything is negotiable. Negotiating the selling price, negotiating how much you pay your realtor, negotiating how much you pay an inspector or the title company, everything. Like, I kid you not. If you think, well, Dustin said everything, I wonder if this is negotiable. Yes, it is negotiable. Everything. When I say everything, I'll stand by that. It's literally everything is negotiable. Now, some people might say no, but you do negotiate with everything. It's something I love to do. In fact, with my students, I've had many students where they would ask me, hey, Dustin, they're asking this. What should I say? I would like to negotiate. I would literally email them out, type out everything that I would say. They would just copy and paste that into their offer. and they'd save $20,000 or $30,000 because of what I say. I love helping my coaching students do that. If you're interested in coaching, I actually want to help you. Go to masterpassiveincome.com/coaching. It should be in the description as well. But if you go to my site at the very top, you'll see real estate coaching. I want to coach you. I'm going to show you how to do that. And like I said, the amount of money is negotiable, so you can negotiate. Let's say the seller wants you to put down $2,000 or $2,500 as a deposit. You're like, shh, that's a lot of money. How about $500? Like literally go that low. And if they say, no, let's do $1,500, they're going to negotiate. They're going to come back because they know everything's negotiable. You might be the only one not knowing that everything's negotiable. So you need to make sure you're always negotiating. So what it comes down to, they may require something. You come back and say, well, I don't want to spend that, or that's not the right amount. Let's do this instead. So I would strongly suggest at most $1,000. I personally would not put anything above $1,000 as earnest money on any property. Now, here's a huge caveat, a huge pro tip, but a huge thing that I just remember this. I have to say this right now. Never, never, never give your earnest money directly to the realtor, their realtor, the selling realtor, or the homeowner. Never get it directly to them. They can literally walk away with that. Who you want to give it to is when you open escrow with a title company. That's who you want to give the money to. And if you are working with a wholesaler, I love wholesalers. Wholesalers are fantastic, but they might say $2,000 down. We'll lock in this deal. Will you get this deal? Like, no, I don't give you $2,000. If it's a good deal, I'm going to go through with it. So always, 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 any earnest money that you give. This is a huge pro tip by you. You're like, this is worth everything that you're paying for this video. In fact, just subscribe and that'll be payment enough for the video. I want to tell you that never ever give money to anybody else other than your title company, because let's say there's a bad inspection. There's the termites and it's literally destroying and you couldn't see anything, but the inspector found that. Well, you're going to back out the deal, or what I would suggest is lower your purchase price, your offer down lower to fix that problem. If they don't accept, then you can back out. But if you've already given the money to the seller or the wholesaler or somebody else, you're not going to be able to get that back. You're going to have to go through a lawsuit, which is going to cost even more money than the actual earnest money is actually put down. If you go with the title company, they're more than likely, they're not on your side or the other side. They're on both of your sides. And so they're just going to say, the letter of the law, it does this, or it says this in the contract. Good, we're giving it back. So this is a huge, huge pro tip. So like I said, it's free for you. It's really good coaching stuff. Hit that subscribe to help me out. That's all payment I would need. Now, this is really what you've been waiting for. Is earnest money negotiable? Here is a way that you can always make it negotiable. And I'll even give you a pro tip on how to make sure that it's almost foolproof. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that's going to be foolproof because there will be stupid people out there, but this is what you want to do. I'm going to give you some huge pro tips here. Number one, you're going to give it to your title company. We just talked about that. You want to make sure you're giving it to them. But here's what you do when you enter into a contract. Every single real estate contract that you get into, you must, it's mandatory. Like say, Dustin told me to do this, I better do this. Get a 10-day inspection period. Now, don't put 10-day homeowner's roof inspection period. You want to be as vague as possible. Do not be specific on this inspection period. Just put 10-day inspection period. That is going to allow you to back out and get your money back, all your earnest money back out of the deal in that 10-day period. Now, here is the super pro tip. This is going to save you loads and loads of money. I'm going to tell you how to negotiate this in getting your money back. It's going to be super simple, just like I told you. And you're going to say, man, this is common sense, but nobody does this. And so I'm telling you, and I'm teaching you this. When you are putting it in there, remember, as vague as possible, 10-day inspection period. That's it. Don't say waiting for this, waiting for that. Don't say anything like that. What you want to do is 10-day inspection period vague. Now, the next thing, if you find something bad in the property, or you can't get financing, or this, or that, you could also put in there in the contract contingent on home inspection as well as financing, which is totally fine. Do that as well if you're getting financing, because if you can't get financing, you can back out on that. Now, here's the big thing you need to do. Be very vague on every explanation of why you're backing out. It's not required that you have to literally give them every little line item detailed. So if you're vague on the front and vague in the back, they can't hammer you down. I can give you a complete example. This is literally one-on-one coaching what I had with a student. They put in there contingent on getting a refinance or getting a finance to buy the property. Well, in their reason why they're backing out and wanting their earnest money, they put in something that was like, well, we couldn't get the funding because we didn't have enough down payment. Like they got specific. They said, well, that's not our fault and that's not the bank's fault. That's your fault. So we're reading it as the bank could not give you funding. We're seeing it as you were not good enough to actually get the funding in the first place. We get all the earnest money. So be vague. If there is a bad thing on the inspection, you're backing out, you say the inspection report didn't come back satisfactory, we're backing out. Literally, that's it. Just the inspection is not satisfactory, we're backing out. And they say, well, why? We're backing out. Why? We're backing out because it wasn't satisfactory. Well, why? That's it. We're just backing out. We're backing out. You're not required to tell them specifically what it is. If you do tell them, they have ammunition to come back to you and say, well, no, in fact, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. In fact, it's you. You don't want that. Be as vague as possible. This is the best way to actually make sure you back out and get your money back. Now, another question is, well, when do you actually pay the earnest money? Well, it really comes down to as soon as you put in the offer and as soon as it's accepted, and once you start escrow, that money goes to the title company. So it's right, boom, boom, boom. It starts the inspection period. You put in the money in the title company. It starts the inspection period. So there's much more to talk about, and I teach about all this inside of my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. I am super appreciative of you being here. Remember to subscribe and like this video and hit the notification bell because I'm releasing videos all the time for you and showing you how to invest. Watch this video right here. I'll see you guys in the next one.